Hey, Cactus crew, how you guys going? It's been a while, hasn't it? And if you're new here, hi, I'm Bill. Welcome to my channel. I hope you stick around. In this live, we're going to be watching not Katie's TikTok from yesterday because I need a break. We're going back to the one from last week, August 2nd. The date might be off a day or two because I'm a whole day ahead of Katie. I'm 13 hours ahead of Katie, actually, to be yeah, replay crew, make sure you check out the timestamps in the description box. That's where you also find a ton of links, which I'll put in the pinned comment after the live. They're really important because they back up everything that I say. And I got a lot to say when it comes to this. What is this? What's the topic? Well, we're still on Gypsy Rose. And the carousel is spinning and the expert is spinning. The Katie Joy expert on her son's feeding tube, but she doesn't even understand what her son has because she doesn't care enough to look into it, because what it boils down to is the feeding tube doesn't benefit her son. It benefits Katie. Every choice that Katie makes for her son is for Katie. It's not for her son. And I reckon DEEDEE might relate there a little bit. Yeah, just a reminder that I'm still uploading CB shorts daily on my channel. It's turned into quite a monster, so you better go look at it because it's got to be worth something, doesn't it? I'm getting lost in my own shorts. Like, I don't know what I've posted, what's going on. There's too many. It's the same thing over and over. So thank God there's been a week in between this live and what's going on now, but gosh, okay, let's get into it. Yeah, everything's my own opinion. Like I said, I've been on this carousel from hell since 2019. Same shit, different day. Still here though, still here, going strong. Right, Cactus crew? Yes, Cactus high five. We are here. Well, we're stuck. We're here for the laughs, and we're here to speak up for V, because Katie has silenced his voice. And it takes someone who was born PREM and has gastroparesis and went through all the developmental delays that comes with being born PREM. I went through all that. But the thing is, my mum didn't harp on my delays. Like, it's not even a big deal, you know? My mum didn't make it a big deal. My mum sat with me for hours. She said like 3 hours some nights she would sit with me. Because when you care for your child and you love your child, you would do whatever to make them eat. And if that means sitting with them for 3.5 hours, 3 hours, Katie, no, I caught your exaggeration disease, didn't I? That's where we're at. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. The other side of what? Well, the other side of some music to break that. It's heavy. This stuff is heavy on me, I find, because I'm so, like, when I first started covering or bringing up the red flags to do with V, I like so questioned myself. I questioned my morals because we all know, like, children are off limits. But Katie plays on that. She plays on that, and she plays on the like fact, like, I'm a special needs mum. I'd never do that. I'd never be so evil. But we know she is, and we know that she has used her son as a prop, as a shield his whole life, exaggerated his story, taken his story and made it her own, exaggerated it. She competes with other special needs mums. All these links, I'll have to take note of videos that I'll link below because I have covered this. Cooper's voice is one that she butted heads with. A lot of the autism mums actually called out her behavior and, you know, noticed that she was in it for the wrong reasons. But yeah, we're not here for, sometimes I just need to say this. Sometimes I black out when I'm talking about V, just because it's almost like my brain sits to the side and my heart takes the stage. And yeah, because it's personal and or not personal, but you know, I've got a personal experience and I can see the red flags so brightly. They're bright red, they're flaming red. But yeah, August 2nd, Katie's TikTok, let's bring it in. It fixes up. Like after about 5 minutes, I figure out how to bring the chat in. And so yeah, the chat will be on the screen as well. Hey everyone in chat, how you guys doing? Oh, my voice is so wonky. I'm not happy with my voice. It's become very nasally because I'm a mouth breather now. I cannot believe it. My whole life I was a nose breather. Now I'm a mouth breather and I sound different. It's just changed my whole life. Well, I don't know how I'm going to snorkel. Okay. I'm just treading water. You know, I'm doing what Katie does, but I'm not sitting there going, am I live yet? Am I live yet? Guys, who like sat through last night's bulldang? Let's just have a little mention of this. What kind of journalist, researcher does not know Control F to find something in a document? Katie's sitting there for like 20 minutes trying to find something. The level of dumb really does my fucking head in. Because like I said, you know, this is not my brain doesn't like being in the bottom of the dumpster. And I have to take time out to, you know, recharge those brain cells so that we can come back in and lose them again. Oh, and yeah, she's got massive filter going on in this live and it's awful. I like her shirt, but I don't like her shirt on her. I've never had that issue before. Like, you know, don't model it, Katie. Okay, let's just go in. I'm going to press play.
At the end of the day, like, that was a very brutal way that the mother was unalived, right? Did Gypsy pay for Ken's new Jeep? I don't think so. I don't know. Gypsy talks to any content creator that will like spin narratives for her. And the only way that you can stay on her good side is to never criticize her. You can never even like, so she got mad at me for a post I made of stuff that she did on the show and things that she said on the show that she admitted to doing. And then the fact that I agreed with the things that she said about herself and the things that her family said about her on the show, I put that in a post. I said, I agree with her dad on this. I agreed with Mia on this. Gypsy admits she's impulsive and she doesn't think and that her behavior is erratic at times and that she lies. And she said that that was bashing her. And I'm like, these are from what you said on the show. I never met Ryan. I never talked to Ryan. Aw, thank you, B Survivor. I think her obsession with having a man obviously is codependency, but I'm not a doctor. And I also just think it's like, because she was never allowed to have one. Oh, I love you too, Steph.
Yeah, so obviously in what happened between last week, because this is last week, and then yesterday, Katie did a 2-hour plus TikTok live and holy shit, like I've never been, like I just wanted to turn it off, but I couldn't. And, you know, it was all my own issue. I was having crankies because I was trying to do my work. You know, my day had started and she was still live, like 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Oh, hey, Dirty Uncle Sal. It's been a while. Everyone, I feel like it's been years. Give yourselves a cactus high five because you deserve it for hanging in there, for waiting on me, like slower than a snail. Ah, F the world. So yeah, like I think Katie finally watched Becca Scoops, and if you haven't watched it, I'll link it below, but just go to that channel, Becca Scoops, BECCA Scoops. And then they've done a series on Gypsy Rose, but it's done from like, you know, a nurse's point of view and a detective, like they're actual professionals in their field. And so it's very, I liked it because it was very, it clarified everything. Like it just put stuff in order. Other like videos I've watched, I get so lost in the information, but I felt like the way that this was like presented, it was kind of like a court case, like very definite. But yeah, I found out so much info in that I hadn't come across. And Katie, as soon as she watched it, she was the expert. Guys, the coat hangers, where did they come from? Have you watched the coat hangers? Have you watched that movie with the coat hangers? You know that one? You know that one that I am? Mummy Dearest? The amount of times that we've all referenced Mummy Dearest, and I feel like she only just came across it. But that's what happens when you spend your whole life in your drinking chair and the world just passes you by. Time doesn't exist when you're sitting there, but the rest of the world has moved on, like we are going to now. Keep going.
Stephanie. Do I think she will over-exaggerate? Yes. Gypsy over-exaggerates what her mother did to her. So the coat hanger stuff that she says, do you know where the coat hanger story comes from? Do you know where the coat hanger story comes from? Mommy Dearest, Joan Crawford, the movie. Mother Dearest, Mommy Dearest. What was Gypsy's documentary called? Mommy Unalive and Dearest. So the coat hanger story comes from that movie. Do you know her story about the bedroom and getting hooked up to the bedroom? Doesn't even make sense. There's no practical way she could have been tied up that way. Because how would she have handcuffs and her mom would have her on a leash so that she could feel Gypsy moving? Then why would her mom be holding the leash if she was on handcuffs, but she was supposed to be attached to the bed? Then why would she need a leash? To the bed and to her mom at the same time? No, it's impossible for this scenario. She didn't have a headboard. You've seen the pictures of the bedroom, right? There was no bells on the door. Did you see the photos of the—
Oh, guys, let me know. Is it too fast for you? Because I'm not listening. I'm already in survival mode. I mean, the captions are there for me, and that's where I'm focusing because I can't stand this monotone. But I don't even know if I can read that. Is that blurry for everyone? Doesn't matter. We're here for the captions. Let me know if it's, I think it might be too fast. I was reading the comments about Katie's angry bird eyebrows, dirty Uncle Sal, and yeah, she started sounding like a bird. So just drop it down to not too fast.
The house, there was no bells on any of the doors. None. She said there was bells on doors. None. No bells on doors.
Ring your bell.
There was no leash found in the house. No dog. And she's told differing stories about, in one, her mom, she had to ask her mom to go to the bathroom, okay? But then on The View, did you watch her interview on The View? Did you watch her interview on The View? She said she had to use a bucket or would on herself. Every other time she told the story, she said she had to ask her mom to get her out of bed. You really think her mom was going to sleep in the bedroom with her with Gypsy all over herself? Every time she tells the story, what her mom did to her gets more and more extreme.
How can you just say that with a straight face and not know that you do the exact same thing? Like, it just does my head in. Like, I have way too much self-awareness. If you want some, Katie, I'll send you it. You know, in a little tiny parcel, just a little bit, because a little bit for you would be a lot. Holy shit. Katie, yeah, like I said, exaggerates everything. Oh yes, TK. TK is just reminding everyone. Yeah, I have a playlist where I've read some of Katie's articles. That's Dear Mummy Dearest. That is where That's where I decided I need to speak up. Reading all that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find the roll, our speed, our, what is it called? Our cruising limit.
I need help. You're cute. All right. Yeah, she said she didn't have a cell phone, but she did have a cell phone and she had a laptop. She never slept on the porch with bugs. She slept in a bedroom with her mom. Oh, and here's another lie. You guys have seen the photos, right? You've seen the crime scene photos, right? So you know that she and Nick, they came up with a story that after he did that to DeeDee, that they went to her bedroom and had relations. Do you remember in the photos, did you see photos of her bedroom? Did you see all the stuff that was on her bed? Did you see the piles of stuff on her bed and on the floor? Boxes. There was no place for them to do that. But there was an indentation on the bed next to her mother. It was in her mom's room next to her mother. There was no place in her bedroom to do that. The only bed that had a space for them to do that was every place in that house. There was no place on any of the, all the couches were filled with stuff. Every chair had crap on it. Her bed was filled with stuff. There was stuff all over her floor. He didn't throw.
How deep is V's voice now? That's what I want to talk about. But also, why does Katie focus on this? It's perverted. She's absolutely, and because like Katie doesn't understand human relations or like what you would do in, wish my mind was turned on, but it fucking wants to bail. TK says, have you ever seen a reporter do a story where all they keep saying is, do you remember? She's so stupid. I know. And it's like, she can't hear us and she gives us waiting time like we're a class. But that's how she's turned into. Like, she really thinks that she's like a lecturer presenting all of her expert findings. When a month ago you were preaching about back off, guys, back off. Gypsy is a victim, okay? No, she didn't lie. She's not a liar. Why would she lie about that? And then only 4 weeks later, now you're like leader of the parade over on TikTok with all your little friends that don't even know who the fuck you are. It's just, did I wake up in a parallel universe? What bug did I catch? Katie, was it windy? Did you blow something over here? My goodness. I know, look at her face. It's a perfect pause. I almost don't want to unpause it, but we have to because we move forward eventually.
Throw any of that on the floor. There's no possible way that he threw any of that on the floor because why would they, if that's true, just going to put this out there. If he threw all of it on the floor, why would they leave and put it all back on her bed? Come on now, use your common sense.
I just want to put this out there. Oh my God, you're an absolute idiot. You don't even have with your husband, and here you are talking about Gypsy and that getting it on after DeeDee was your favorite word, unalived. Or they didn't do it on the bed, you know? Why would they put all the stuff back on after they've taken it off? What the fuck are you talking about, woman? Please move on to something that is not, I don't know. Like, aren't you a professional journalist? Aren't you a investigating person? You know, I'm trying to work in your language field, but it's not working because I'm just totally dumbing myself down.
They're not going to put stuff back on the bed after throwing everything on the floor. And she claimed that she was cowering in the bathroom with her hands over her ears. Did you see the photos of the bathroom? Where was she going to be cowering? There was a chair. Did you see in the bathroom that there was a soda in a cup with a straw, and there was like cleaner on the floor, and then there was like a razor, and there was like lotion or like body wash. Nick in the interrogation room said that while he was doing that, she was shaving her legs. Also, she said that when she was in the house, her mom never let her get out of her chair. Did you see the state of that house? Did you see the state of her house? What kind of wheelchair was moving around in that house? Please tell me. In what capacity was she moving around in a wheelchair in that mess? She was walking. She was not using the wheelchair in the house. Half of the wheelchairs were just filled with crap.
I just, like, this is back when I wanted you to watch the Becca Scoop stuff, and now that you've watched it, you're the expert on their information without letting your viewers know that you watched it. I can't believe that it's just like, I knew all this info from documentaries and reading about it. She's like, why am I opening my mouth and like absolutely no words are coming out? Oh, that's right. Thank you, Uncle Sal. Had to get like keyword in there, wheelchair. Katie's son doesn't need his wheelchair. He needed his wheelchair up until December 2018 when he had his heart surgery. But that's from then on, he didn't need it. That's when he didn't need the feeding tube as well, from 2018 onwards, because he only needed it to, build up weight to put on to be strong for the heart surgery. But it just came with way too many benefits that Katie couldn't let go of it. And they are fully. The property tax exemption is probably the biggest one, because every year they get an exemption off their property tax because they have a dependent living under their roof that has a permanent disability. And with the permanent feeding tube, that makes him a permanently disabled. And that brings a lot of benefits with it. Like home nurses, 40 hours a week that she uses for babysitters and to clean her house. And when they speak up, she fires them. Or they speak up for V and they say he shouldn't be on his iPad 24/7 because there's a screen addiction problem, in this house that is prioritized over anyone's needs. But no, that person got fired. She's like Emily Gilmore. Fuck, she annoys me. Especially because she just recently got a new wheelchair because her insurance allowed it. So might as well upgrade. And showed that off with a lap around the dining table. Broom, broom. Because the son doesn't get out of the house. She's isolated her son from family and friends that were asking questions about the way that she was raising her son, which was the first 5 years, like absolute neglect. I don't know if I've probably gone into it. Should we give it a bit more and then I'll go into it? Or I have a timeline of how everything played out. But basically, like, he went to daycare for the first 3.5 years, Monday to Friday, all day. And daycare would feed him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then Katie would bring him home and put him straight to bed. They were more focused in the first 4.5 years of his life on drinking and making mead and drinking and making more mead. And Katie was too hungover to parent. She has admitted this in her articles. I'll link it all below. And he had untreated hydrocephalus for 4.5 years. His head was growing, and the more pressure, the more cerebral fluid that was building up, that was pushing back parts of his brain. He wasn't able to retain new information. He wasn't able to eat. He was lethargic. He was like showing all symptoms of like the flu. He had 8 ear infections in 2 months, 2 or 3 months. Katie wrote about this. And then it wasn't until like he had his feeding tube in 2016. And then the next year he had his autism diagnosis. And then a few months after that, that's when he was diagnosed with hydrocephalus, because she had to take him to the doctor in person. She was able to survive all this time using telehealth over the phone. We've seen Katie when she got her boil. She convinced her doctor that she had a sinus infection. We could see that it was a staph infection. It was a boil, and she's there picking at it. And now she's still got it 4 years later, but now there's some worms in there because the kitty litter is in the bedroom. God, there's so much. My brain is like over flooded with information on Katie's son. And I wish she cared. I wish she fucking cared. I feel like she cares more about coming off as the expert on Gypsy than she cares about actually knowing anything about her son. Her son has gastroparesis, which I have, and mine is due to like mild spina bifida when I was born. Like I was born 8 weeks PREM. Katie's son was born 5 weeks PREM. And this is like a big part of the digestive system. So the digestive system is one of the first to form, but it only becomes activated in the final weeks of pregnancy. That's when the stomach cells are like formed and all that comes together. And those are the cells that break down the food and you get your nutrients and all that. But without that, you can't break down your food. So gastroparesis is the delayed emptying of the stomach. And basically paralyzed stomach. Basically, it doesn't digest certain food. Certain food can just sit in your stomach and become toxic, and then you become sick off that. But yeah, V has all the signs. Like even when he was younger, the stomach sticking out. Like I had that. My dad called me chicken because I had like tiny, skinny legs and this huge gut. Because like from the waist down, I got no muscle tone. So then I can't like hold my stomach in because I got no muscle there to like do that. So then, yeah, it builds up and the gas and it sticks out. And yeah, V has all that. And he has all the developmental delays that come with being born PREM. And Katie dismisses all of that. Like she talks about his delayed oral motor skills and his oral dysphagia and all that. But then it's as if does my fucking head in, man. Because that wasn't the reason he got the feeding tube. She wants everyone to think that she went through all that she was feeding her son pureed food and all that. No. Katie admitted in her article she didn't know what age-appropriate food to feed him. So she just fed him whatever she was eating, which was corn, peas, like chokeable food, grapes with the skin on, nachos when he's teething, like and milk that thickens your saliva. So not only is he having trouble swallowing, she's also thickening his saliva, which increases the chances that he's probably going to choke. She made him fear food, in my opinion. Because the timeline, let me just quickly go back to the timeline. So V was at daycare for the first 3.5 years. And then February 2016, Katie was fired from her job at Capella University, the core center. And she became his full-time carer, his paid full-time carer. Oh, this is so it's so fucked. And that's when she learned she couldn't parent. She didn't have the patience to sit there. Her son was a slow eater. He would take ages to eat. She couldn't get him to eat what she wanted him to eat. He only would eat like junk food because she also didn't discipline him all this. But she'd sit back and all the photos are taken. Like she sits back and her child's like, what am I meant to do? She's got the food on the tray. Yeah, 4 months is all it took of being his full-time paid caregiver to get him on a feeding tube. So in 4 months, she made him failure to thrive to get the feeding tube. He went from being a healthy baby eating 3 meals a day at daycare to Katie taking over and being his parent. And then June 2016, he got his feeding tube. And by then he was failure to thrive. And she shares the fucking pictures. And you see him go from a chubby baby to thin as like so thin that like his cheekbones are sticking out. Like it's disgusting. I'll share I'll link them all below. Like I'm not talking shit and I'm having trouble even getting the words out because like I said, my heart wants to take the stage and my heart isn't, rational in what it says. It's just like, screaming. But fuck, she's so evil. She is so evil.
There was no room for the wheelchair to move around. Exactly. And then, yeah, she covered the windows, not because of CPS, so no one could see her walking. Exactly. She was in on the scam with her mom. I mean, what's CPS going to do when she's an adult? CPS doesn't, oh, that was one of the stories I never finished. Okay. So there's this part, in the medical records, which basically says that the doctors start figuring out, so the doctors in Louisiana or Missouri start to figure out that DEEDEE is like lying to them about her age because she keeps giving them all these different ages. And so they find out that she has a birth date in 91, 93, 95, and 2000, right? So she's giving them all these different birth dates. And so CPS comes to the house. And so when they get to the house, DEEDEE provides them a copy of her ID and she's 18 years old. So once CPS realizes that Gypsy is 18 years old, there's really nothing that they could do. It's not a minor anymore.
Yeah, I don't believe that story was hers, like Dirty Uncle Sal. I so believe that her breastfeeding story was one of those articles that she just stole because there's no way that she breastfed him until he was 4 with the amount of alcohol they drank. And she doesn't, like, she's not nurturing. She doesn't have that mother's instinct to care and protect her child. Who was it? I think Another Truth said she never wanted him. And it's true. She never wanted children. She's even admitted to not liking them. And the only reason she had a child was that's the only way she could lock in a husband because Toad wouldn't marry her unless he could have a son. And he should never have had a child, let alone a son, because his alcoholic sperm, decades of substance abuse on his end, had rendered his sperm, oh my God, so much damage to the cognitive development, but especially if he has a son, because it affects like the son's testosterone and the hormones. So he might have even got some of that stuff from like Toad. But yeah, Katie didn't stop drinking during her pregnancy. And I can't believe how easily I just said that because it's taken me so long to just be able to say that. But, like she didn't even stop drinking for Toad. Toad went through sobriety. I don't even know if he still is, but he's still on the Mountain Dew or is he drinking his own piss? Have they watched the documentary about the town that only drank Mountain Dew? Or have they watched Idiocracy? Because Katie, those are your people. Oh God, throwing myself. Oh, Toad, like Toad totally settled for the first person that came along. I reckon Katie was his rebound because wasn't he engaged to his long-term girlfriend and then they broke up? Yeah, because you're grandpa, you know? You are grandpa. Yeah. We can be thankful for, you know, Toad for what he does and like raises V, but then he's also damaging V by yelling at him because he doesn't have patience. They've never dealt with their issues that come with their alcoholism. So they're just like quick to snap and they take it out on V because Katie's not going to give Toad the reaction that he needs, the fix, you know, of yelling at someone and making them cry. And he gets that from V.
So they had to get her a birth certificate. They had to get her social security card, all right. But Gypsy claims she found her age by digging in her mom's thing and finding her Medicaid card. No, she knew her age. And when she was 18, when CPS figured it out, then when she went back to the doctors asked DEEDEE to either provide proof that she has a guardianship, so going through the courts to declare her mentally unfit and cognitively disabled, because in Missouri, they were completely onto the scam at this point. And so they asked DEEDEE, and there's actually a record in this. So asked mom to provide a copy of the guardianship paperwork. And then DEEDEE showed up, not with a copy of the guardianship paperwork, but she showed up with a forged power of attorney document that wasn't notarized or signed, and they wouldn't accept it. So there was absolutely no legal records at all, showing that she had medical control of Gypsy. So once Gypsy turned 18, there was nothing that DEEDEE could do to force anything. DEEDEE and Gypsy turned 18 in 2009. So after 2009, Gypsy's the one, or is that right? No, 2010, because her birthday's 91. Yeah, 2009. So July.
Is it 2009? Is she correct? I was going to do the math, but then my brain was like, nah, let's not put in effort. We don't need to put in effort. Katie's done the math. Oh my God, why is my brain just like...
Gypsy's the one, or is that right? No, 2010, because her birthday's 91. Yeah, 2000.
Look at your brain working overtime and your fingers. Who are you mimicking? It's not Farrah Abraham. Who have you been watching lately and you've just become them? I don't know. Why is my brain like,
9. So July of 2009. After July of 2009, there's no documents that prove that GD has guardianship of her, and there's no legal paperwork that says she has power of attorney that the hospitals will accept. So Gypsy was the one that had to sign off on things for herself.
Oh, short order, cook. Oh, don't worry about caps. I love caps. And then only the other day I realized, do people think I'm yelling at them? I write in caps even when I'm writing with a pen. So, you know, but yeah, they say the other day she got her son's age wrong. Did she? Well, she's done it a few times because he's turning 12 this year. And she has said that he's 11 or turning 11 this year, or called him a 10-year-old. But like Katie can't comprehend that a whole decade has passed. Her son is only 4 years away from being 16, 6 years away from being 18. He's so much more smarter than Katie. Like, he gives it back to her. Knows that like he's being recorded and gets in a little liner before he leaves because she treats him like shit. Why is my brain just like totally not here? I've just got to press play. Let Katie talk. She's the one. She is the expert, you know? Oh, Katie, are you playing charades? Did you just pull your ear? I should have farted. It's a little quiet, isn't it? Should I say something? Katie.
So when the police initially arrested her, they weren't just arresting her for the M word, they were also arresting her for fraud. And they were looking into all the different charities that Gypsy and her mom had defrauded. And then quickly, the defense flies in and is like, no, it was all DEEDEE. I don't know how to save.
Just reminder, Katie does Survival Day every year. Yes, her son survived 3 months. He had a traumatic brain injury. He survived that. Yes, that's when they found out that he had PANHYPOPITUARTRISM. When they found out that his pituitary gland was underdeveloped. In the first blogs, this is what she says before she exaggerated it to he was born without one. It was underdeveloped and it was detached from the stalk. So his body doesn't naturally produce hormones. He also has adrenal insufficiency. So when he gets like stressed out, his body doesn't produce cortisone or cortisol. I get confused. And then he gets the cortisone injection, whichever one counteracts. You know what I'm trying to say? Probably not, because I get confused when I talk about that too. I get confused with the words. But yeah, the PANHYPOPITUARTRISM, he doesn't, so they have to give him hormone shots daily. And he has, the growth hormones, the sexual hormones. What are the other ones? He'll be getting testosterone now as he heads into adolescence, wouldn't he? I don't know. His voice is so deep. I was very surprised when I heard his voice, especially on yesterday's TikTok. His voice is deeper than Toad's. Unless they had someone over, but they wouldn't have. It sounded like V. And yeah. It's scary because how is she going to handle the teenage years? Trazodone won't help him. Oh yeah, that's right. She gives him trazodone at night more than she takes, and that's her happiness. That's exactly what she says. And yet, so when she says that's her happiness, that's her drug of choice. And so she abuses it by giving it to her son because that she can't think of any reason why he's not sleeping. I mean, it's not like he's addicted to the screen that he's been fed since he could sit up and hold a mobile, because that's how they've coped.
Live. So I will be going live on my YouTube channel. So if you look at the closet full of meds, I hope you understand, and I have a child with a closet full of meds, there's not that many meds that are in that closet at all. A lot of it is like cream, lots of boxes of cream. Most of it's over the counter. There's some of it that is prescribed, but it's like the same prescription, like auto refills. It's mostly over the counter. Oh, okay. Some of the meds were also DEEDEE's. So DEEDEE had diabetes and she took insulin, so she had to give herself shots. So some of it were DEEDEE's meds too. Do I really think Gypsy was addicted to pain meds? I don't. No, I don't.
I do. I reckon that's why maybe she was more like prone to seeking out heroin in jail to pass the time. Oh, it's just there's so much. I think that maybe DEEDEE was also addicted to pain meds. Look at you shaking your tiny little head. Like, only over the past few lives has her head started to look really tiny. And I think it's because I wish that she would just wear a plain black Bonds t-shirt, like V-neck every time. Get rid of this Snoop Dogg, Kiss, all this. Like, I can't believe she wore Kiss. She doesn't even like Kiss. She went to a Kiss concert with Toad for his birthday and she moaned through the whole thing like, this is boring, I want to go home. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine that? And then remember when she thought that the what's it called? Like the parody band, what's it called? I sound really old. The spin-off, yeah, just not really Kiss, but you know, the Vegas one, she thought they were the real Kiss, and someone had to let her know, no, sorry, they just, you know, fill in the blank because my brain is like, what? Yes. Well, Dirty Uncle Sal says V's issue is she has him over medicated on things he doesn't need, along with incorrect doses of meds he doesn't need. Exactly, exactly. Even when we look at when she takes him off the formula, Mama Knows Best, she takes him off the prescribed formula with all the nutrients and minerals for a growing toddler and puts him on this broth that it even says, like, on the Food Blend, Real Food Blends website, it says this is not a full meal, it's like complimentary, but Katie gives it to him like a full meal. Yeah, she's just not even worried about how much water she put in there. She's not measuring anything. She's not writing down notes of how his tolerance is on this. It's all just bullshit. It's all just lies. Like, she's going through the ingredients like, this is a filler, that's just carbs. Bitch, like, I'll link it below because it's really gobsmack. Like, how can you be that dumb? And how can you use your child as a guinea pig and not feel guilty? Because the trazodone, like, that's child abuse. As long as she comes across as, you know, not an alcoholic, though we know she is, not a substance abuser, we know she is, mum of the year, whatever, does everything for her son, it's all lies. And it's so sad because V's voice is stolen. Like, the voice of a premature child has been stolen, and like, the narrative that she gives us is not fitting what's going on. Oh man, I wish she cared more about, you know, her son than Gypsy, because that's really what's happening. We're watching her care more about Gypsy.
I think that DEEDEE was addicted to pain meds for sure. At least that's my take, but I don't think Gypsy was. Gypsy had a prescription for Valium because she had back pain from mild scoliosis. My son is on so many medications, and she didn't have hardly any that are over the counter. And Gypsy's med lists, when you look at her medical records, were mostly for asthma and one seizure med. But the rest were like asthma medications, nothing else.
I feel sick at how cocky you are being, how it's a competition. Not as sick as my son, sorry. And I really wish that you went into that, but you were probably like, no, red flags, now is not the time.
DEEDEE didn't keep any extra G-tubes. This is the wildest thing, though. There's no extra D-tubes. There were no syringes. There was no feeding tube bags. There's 0 photographs of the feeding tube pump. I'm 99.9% sure that they were not even using her feeding tube towards the end because she didn't need it anymore. But I'm speculating here. She had a Nissen fundulocation. I can never say that word. Basically, when Gypsy was born, she was puking all the time and she had severe reflux. And so to prevent her from like puking, they wrapped a small part of her stomach around her esophagus, almost like tying it in a knot, so that the food can't come back up. And then the feeding tube is used as a vent. But when you look at the photos, there's no feeding tube bags, there's no syringes, there's no formula that you see, nothing, which tells me she wasn't being fed by tube by that point. It's probable that she was just using the tube for venting.
Katie, it was a prop. It was a fucking prop for their role play. You can't be this fucking dumb.
And DEEDEE never changed it at home, which is so gross. And so changing a feeding tube is super, super easy. Hold on, let me show you.
Oh my God, we're going to get into the show and tell. I don't know. Am I ready for it? Are you guys ready for it? Oh, this is her show and tell number 2. She did one December 2020, Katie Joy Vlogs. I'll link it below. At least this time she's clean. Because in the 2021 she was hungover and snot and staph fingers and all over everything. Like, do you reckon she puts it back in the box and then they use it even though it's opened and it's been played with? Wow, that sounded really dirty. Toad, you took it there, not me. Calm down, Toad. KJ is so bored. I know, right? When she wears her hair up like this, I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to be blunt. There's a ledge. I know I said it. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. You know, she needs the honest friend. Like, she needs fringe, the bangs clip on. Wouldn't that just change her life and ours, you know? Oh, probably change ours more. Oh, God, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like, I need to breathe. My heart. Go away, heart. Like, let's just do mind. We can't even, like, get words out. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to press play. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I shared the short, like, again. I've been redoing shorts. That's why I got lost, because I'm redoing ones that I've already posted. But, yeah, I posted this one the other day that Ginger is talking about, where she shows the dirty feeding tube button cover, and it's got like pus or something in it. It looks really disgusting. She's like, this catches the discharge, and it's right next to her toothpaste. Oh my God, this is a horror story. Hi, Katie's chair. You look a bit worn. Are you doing all right? Yeah. Oh, here she comes.
I just want to show you what this stuff looks like. Did you see any boxes like this in any of those photos? Did you see any boxes like this? These are what the extensions are for a feeding tube. So here's a feeding tube extension. So this is how you hook it up to a feeding tube, and that's how you open it. So it's a little button on the tummy, right? And then this, you lock it in, right? And it has a little lock, it says lock on it. And then these are 2 separate ports, right? This is for meds, and then this is for feeding. If you don't need to give meds, you just close this one off. And then if you're just doing food, you would use this one. And then they have syringes that literally like screw in, and then you don't lose anything, okay? There's 2 kinds of buttons. There's a Mickey and there's a Mini, and neither have anything to do with pediatric or adult. There's just 2 separate kinds. So you can have a Mickey or a Mini button. So this is my son's. This is what it looks like. This is what's called a Mini button, okay? And the button is right up here. And it just inflates. It's not painful at all. Not at all. So in order to change it, you see here,
no, hydrocephalus has nothing to do with the feeding tube, though. Hydrocephalus had a lot to do. It impacted his feeding because, you know, he couldn't feed because his head was hurting. But yeah, a lot of her posts like contradict themselves because she's jumping around which one has more benefits. And she only just started like mentioning the gastroparesis, like she doesn't mention it like when he first got his feeding tube. It's like probably around 2017, 18. But like, yeah, it's like she just said it out of the blue one day. Like it wasn't even. And then my ears perked up. So I was like, what'd you say? And then I was like, maybe I should listen a bit more and research what's going on a little bit more.
This is, it's like Astroglide kind of. It's like KY Deli. You know, whatever that is. It's like, it's a balloon. Yep, it's a balloon. So you have a syringe and you add 5 mils of water. You check the balloon to see how much water's in it to make sure there's not a hole in it, okay? And then this is like the glide. So before you change the tube, what you do is you take this syringe and you put it on the tummy and you pull the water out, okay? And then when you pull the water out, the button comes up and air will expend from the stoma. When you've had a feeding tube for years, your stoma is already healed. It's not going to stretch out. It just glides out. It's a tiny little balloon. And when it comes out,
well, it's weird that she everyone calls it lube. This is the lube that helps it go in and out. Katie uses the word. Are you going to take it out, Katie? Are you going to syringe? Katie, do you need gloves? You might need gloves. Katie, do you reckon your filter is doing these suppliers justice? Look how much she is totally living for this moment. Like her whole life, her whole hoarding of these medical supplies relies on these show and tells. She lives for it.
You see that?
What the fuck?
We have a bunch of these, so I'm just showing you how these work. So this little piece here, once it's deflated, it's like smaller than the stoma, okay? So it's going to be way smaller than the stoma. So it just glides in and glides out. And the tissue that's in the stoma is healed. There's no pain. There's no blood. None of that.
And that's where she's completely wrong because she doesn't know. It's not personal experience. Her son has most likely told her that it hurts, but because Katie doesn't, she doesn't care that it hurts. It's what's good for Katie. Plus, she doesn't understand pain. She shares photos of her son in pain and the caption is oh, happy day. No, your child is in so much pain. Why the fuck are you taking photos? Get the fuck off your phone and comfort your child. But no, she can't. There's no emotional connection with her child. And that comes down to her personality disorder. And I don't even want to bring this up because Katie's become the expert. She hasn't even studied psychology or anything. At least I've got a background in it. I almost got my degree, 3 months off. That is basically qualified in Katie's exaggeration world, right? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And, I was not meant to be a psychologist. Imagine if I actually got my degree. Holy shit, I might have a completely different life. But no, I was born to be something else. A doormat. No. I know multiple people. I know people that have feeding tubes and it hurts. The site where the feeding tube goes in, the stoma site, is that what it's called? I feel like I'm at a construction site. But yet that it hurts, and it hurts when it's getting changed. Some people it can get easily infected. And if Katie's son, if his is discharge, pus, does she even know if it's infected? She doesn't even know what a cold sore is. She doesn't even know the signs of a staph infection or a boil or that it's contagious. She doesn't even know that you can get a UTI from having sex. She argued with people on Instagram Live that you can't get an UTI from having sex because it's a completely different hole. Guys, that's a direct quote. The level of dumb, and look at her, all talk. It's her actions where she lacks. She can sit there and be all knowledgeable, but she doesn't know shit. Plus, she deliberately vents her son. She overfills his stomach. She gives him 3 meals a day, the whole meal all in one sitting. She also bolus feeds him, and he shouldn't be bolus fed because that's for experienced, not pediatric feeding. And also she never puts him in the correct position, he's often laying down or sitting in a 90-degree angle. And she would have been sent home with all of the information. The semi-Fowler position, it's a 45-degree angle, and he should sit in that position even after he's finished feeding, but she lets him go off and play. And she overfills his stomach so that he can't breathe, and she lets his lips turn blue. multiple times. And then she gets to go in there and vent him because that's her favorite thing, even though it causes her son pain. But she loves it. She wrote about it multiple times. That's how much she loves it. I've got to go in there. I've got to vent my son. But he could just take medication that helps with, like, it's the same medication that helps with GERD. I think it's this live where someone asks if she has her son on it, but instead she'd rather vent him manually.
A stoma is the hole. It's the hole. It's stoma, S-T-O-M-A. It's the hole.
Oh my God, she just pointed to, like, her esophagus. I can't say that word. Kanye West ruined it for me. I can never say it again.
If you're caring for it and if you have proper GTUBE care and you have proper GTUBE maintenance and you're changing it once to every 2 months and you're not going lengths of time where you're not changing it, it should not be painful in any capacity. You just
look at you shaking your head like you fucking know. You have also said, I've gone through 5 heart surgeries or 5 brain surgeries with my son. No, you haven't. You haven't gone through shit, man. You haven't gone through shit. You wouldn't know how much pain your son is in. We've watched him have, like, shunt malfunction from, like, the iPad, which he shouldn't be on because the battery of the iPad interferes with his shunt that he has for his hydrocephalus. And so it malfunctions and then it doesn't drain the fluid. So then the fluid starts to build up, and Katie should know the symptoms because, again, you're sent home with these documents and they also make sure parents know the signs of, like, shunt malfunction. And her son was vomiting continuously for days, headache. And she had him on the couch and she's doing lives in the living room. Oh, look at my son. He's so sick. We're trying everything to, not go to hospital. Why are you not taking him to hospital? Because he needs to be the worst when she gets there. He needs to be the sickest kid on the ward. And it's fucking sick.
put it in and then you.
Do you ever wash your hands before you do that, Katie?
No. The stoma is the whole.
Thank you. Oh my God, I just interviewed Katie Joy, guys. Holy shit. We'll clip that one. Send that to the sun.
That goes in. So Gypsy wouldn't change hers, would only change it every 6 months. No, Gypsy did not sue me. If your GTUBE does hurt, there's probably something wrong with the stoma or something. It shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't. So changing one literally takes like 2 minutes because you take one out and then you put one in, okay? And then Gypsy said that she was fed by a machine. When you saw any of those photos, did you see anything like this? Did you see anything in any of those crime scene photos that looked like this? No. In the med cabinets, did you see anything that looked like this? No. In the med cabinets, did you see any boxes that looked like this? No. In the med cabinet, did you see any boxes that looked like this? No. And there was no pump and no syringes. No pump and no syringes. Do you guys want to see what the pump looks like? Just to be clear, so you understand what the pump looks like?
Yes.
So here's what the extension looks like. I'll get the pump.
Oh, okay. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Look at her running. Go on, Paulson. Maybe take a pee break while you're there. It's been a while, hasn't it? She just opened the blinds.
Did you guys see it?
Open the blinds so the neighbors can see. Oh, Katie, look, it's your favorite. Oh my God, I'm choking on my own breath. Okay. Katie. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get myself together.
in her house anywhere? Because that's how you put these pumps at home. And then to feed, and if you have a feeding tube, all of this is prescribed, right? So you would get a doctor and they send you the IV pole. We had this one for like 6 years. They don't go bad. You hook up your bag, okay? It goes into the pump. My son's not fed by pump. He's fed by bolus. But we use the pump when he's sick. Everything goes in here like this, right? So this is what it would look like when it's all together. Actually, we're going to put it on this side. Did you see anything like that in their house?
I don't know. You know, let's keep going. Fuck, Katie.
Okay, no. Nothing, right? There was no machine, there was no bags, there were no buttons, there were no extensions, there was no formula. It was weird. And then if you do bolus, I don't have the right syringes. They recently.
Oh, this is important. They recently changed what you get. So, oh yeah, if you didn't know, the government is fully supplying all of this for Katie to hoard. And so, yeah, Katie's never brought her son, never made him a meal since 2016, June, going onwards. And the government pays for it all because she eats sandwiches and Oreo biscuits and stuff, you know. And also, what did I used to eat that she loves? Easy Mac, microwave one. Yeah, because that's what alcoholics eat. And breakfast biscuits. I'm just letting you know what's on Katie's menu. I don't know what's on Toad's menu. Salad?
They changed what you get when you have a feeding tube. So now they used to have extensions that weren't screwed in, and you could just plop a 60 ml syringe in. And so you would stick the tip in like this.
Oh, when did this just turn into sex ed? Fuck.
It would like go in like this, and then you just pour the food in, and then you just let it gravity into the stomach. So we use the screw-in ones, and I couldn't find one of the screw-in ones, but the screw-in one goes in like this, and then it just gravity feeds. And it takes like 10 to 15 minutes.
And yeah, again, he's got gastroparesis, delayed emptying of the stomach. He should not be taking the full meal all at once. He should be fed small portions throughout the day, because otherwise, like I said, it overloads his stomach and it puts pressure on his lungs. And yeah, his stomach sticks out and he can't breathe and his lips turn blue. But God, man. And yeah, like I can't eat big meals. Before I came on here, I was like watching someone. What is the, oh my God, what's your burrito place over there? Anyway, wrapper burrito, but one of those big ones where people just get like 4 meals in one burrito. I'm like, how the fuck are they going to eat that? Anyway, I was like watching someone wrap it. I'm like, that is stretchy tortilla. Like, anyway, what was my point? Like, I could never eat that. Like, that would be 5 meals. Yeah, Taco Bill. Hey, they should have a Taco Bill with a deal. Yeah, Taco Bell, it must have been. I've never had Taco Bell. I've never had Krispy Kreme. I've never had, just like, I don't eat processed food, basically. That's one of the biggest things, like, I removed from my diet. But, yeah, I just eat the same thing every day because otherwise I go mad trying to decide what to eat.
You can do a bolus feed with a pump, but you can also bolus with a syringe. You can also bolus with a bag as well. So you can connect the bag without connecting it to a pump. And then you can manually move the fluid this way. There's lots of different ways that you can bolus. And it all comes down to tolerance.
Exactly, Katie. Like, you took your son off the nutrient-rich formula and put him on real food blends, which is not even a complete meal, because of tolerance, because he couldn't tolerate the entire feed. like his lips were turning blue and all that. So what, you take him off something that, like you put him on something that has no nutritional value, that's watered down salty water? Oh, just like she should not be making choices, medical decisions for people's livelihood when she neglects her own. She's got like an MRSA. Do you say that, or is it MRSA? I still haven't decided or realized or figured out or learned. I know a lot of things there. But yeah, so she's got that staph infection. This is why she wears the filter. Katie's 46 this year, guys. 46. And like, where's the growth? You would think she's still, I mean, I wear shirts and like jeans and sneakers, but like, I feel like I come across a bit more mature, put together. I don't have kids though. Katie doesn't even come across like she's a mum, right? Except now, yeah, this little role play, she might seem capable of parenting, but she's not. Oh fuck, I just looked at Katie and I just totally, look at her widow's peak is completely gone. Like, it's Katie, I don't know, maybe wigs would work. I want to give you help, but there's no helping you now.
So some people can't tolerate a lot in their stomach at one point, so they have to use a pump. Pumps are most common with babies. Once people get older, they're usually able to tolerate gravity feeding, unless they have like really like GTUBes that have to go slower. Okay.
Exactly, TK. She can't even be a cat or mum dog. They get the trazodone too, in my opinion. That's my theory, because that's the supply. You know, that's the reason why she's adopted 2 dogs with trauma, so she can get those anxiety meds, you know. And the vets, you know, don't flag meds either. I was going to say something, but then I just didn't, you know, and that's what's happening.
So those were the things that I noticed weren't anywhere in the house. Yes, my son actually has gastroparesis, but he can handle bolus feeds now. When he's sick, he can't handle bolus feeds because his stomach slows down. But yeah, gastroparesis is a really common reason.
His stomach wouldn't slow down when he's sick. You don't feel like eating when you're sick. So you're basically force feeding your child. Like, oh, here you go, talking about gastroparesis. Like, you fucking know, man.
Yes, my son actually has gastroparesis, but he can handle bolus feeds now. When he's sick, he can't handle bolus feeds because his stomach slows down. But yeah, gastroparesis is a really common reason for people to have feeding tubes.
It's not like, it's, fuck me dead. Like, oh my God. Gastroparesis doesn't turn itself on and off. It is delayed emptying of the stomach all the time, Katie. So bolus feeding your child, you are making him unable to breathe by overloading his stomach. That's putting pressure on his already underdeveloped premature lungs. Okay?
Okay. Does that help?
Also, so many people, so many mums, children with feeding problems do whatever they can to make sure their child never ends up on a feeding tube, because no one wants that life for their child. Do you know how close I fucking came, Katie? I came so close. I was on the formula. And I was like, I'm not going on a fucking feeding tube. And I just made sure that I wouldn't. My mum made sure that I wouldn't. Therapy made sure that I wouldn't. Katie stopped taking her son to therapy because she wasn't doing the homework. They called her out. But then also the hydrocephalus had a bit to do with that, because they would teach him something and then the next week he would come back and he had, you know, it's back to square one, and they blamed that on Katie, but really the cerebral fluid was making it unable for him to like retain new information. So also that's why he was nonverbal. He wasn't nonverbal like Katie wants him to be. Like, she fully was this is ridiculous, but her and Toad were going down the he's nonverbal due to autism, so let's get him on Braille. I know, they were legit going down that because autism, like, and there's a lot of issues with this. Like, people are like, oh, he doesn't have autism because she came out later on and said that he doesn't, but he does. Like, you don't follow what Katie says. She's so confused. She's shopping the benefits. She's not shopping. She's not like looking at what her son actually has. So yeah, he got the autism diagnosis in May 2017, but then it was November of that year, November 2017, he was finally diagnosed with hydrocephalus and he got his shunt put in. And so after he got the shunt put in, he could eat more, he was more hungry, he was more alert, he was learning, he was talking, you know? And so that's when she went back on the like, oh, maybe he isn't autistic, but he is autistic. A lot of the cognitive delays and the spina bifida play into, he shows traits of autism. If you've seen him enter the room, the way he talks and the way he like is so, well, he's so smart, he's so much smarter than Katie. But the way his mind works, like, he's just very straight to the point and like no fucking around. But the way he talks, and plus his behavior, because there's a lot of videos that Katie shared of him like where he would hit himself, become like overstimulated and like hit himself and stuff. So he does show characteristics of being autistic, but it's just Katie. What she would do is like one diagnosis and then move on to the next and then dismiss what was before. I don't know why she was doing that, but that's what she did. And yeah, God, the worst thing that I think the best thing actually that happened was her joining those autism groups, because mums started to see that she's not doing what's best for her son. It's all a show. So no matter what, she like can talk the talk, but she doesn't follow through with it. Like, she's an expert here with a feeding tube sitting there all proud, like, take a photo. But when it comes to her son, she's like neglectful, careless, like doesn't wash her hands, causes her son to have the flu. Her son sleeps in her bed. Her son sleeps in her bed. He turns 12 in October. And in this bedroom, there is kitty litter with cat piss in it, and the door is always closed. Cat piss causes ammonia. Imagine that on like a kid that has asthma. Then that's not the only thing that's in the room. Katie's in there too, but on V's side of the bed are cat cages. 2 cats per cage. So there's 2 cages. She locks the cats up at night. Why? Because she's fucking evil. Can you imagine those stressed out cats locked up and the son, like, he's not in an environment that he strives in. He's in an environment that keeps him sick, keeps him dependent on Katie. And that's what she wants. How many times has she taken photos of like, oh, he's got 97-degree temperature this morning? Yeah, because of you. Like, fuck. Yes, and the yellow stained pillows. We all know. Well, probably. Have you guys ever had yellow stained pillows? My ex did, and he was a drug addict. So when they just, everything else is not important, the drugs, the alcohol, that's what's priority.
Everyone, I hope. I just wanted to show you, like, those were things that were like red flags for me, because I was like, the house doesn't look like it has any of the medical supplies for someone that's using a feeding tube. Yeah, a bit boring. I should have hit 1 million. What does that mean? Why are so many people? Yeah.
Not too close, Paulson. We are here.
I thought it might help people understand, like.
I want to see you do a pie graph, you know, or get the whiteboard out. No?
My son has gastroparesis. It's due to his neurological, he has hydrocephalus. And
that's what I don't understand. What is she talking about? That it's neurological? But then, yeah, I guess the neural defect, like with the spina bifida. Is that what she's trying to get at?
Central nervous system dysautonomia and dysfunction. Gastroparesis is a partially paralyzed stomach. Okay. You can get gastroparesis.
Do you feel like she's just throwing out words to seem smart and doesn't really know what she's talking about?
A couple different ways. It can be neurological, meaning that the brain isn't sending the proper signals to your organs, or it can be from the stomach actually being damaged. So a side effect of diabetes, when people don't take care of their diabetes, is they can get gastroparesis. And it's not a neurological form of the gastroparesis. It's that the stomach actually gets damaged, like the stomach lining and the stomach muscle. And so there's multiple.
That is part of the nervous system, the nerves that form the cells in the stomach lining.
Ways you can get it. And yes, medications can cause it as well.
Oh, what medications? Too tired?
Yeah, so my son's is from the nervous system. Like he's had it since birth. So yeah.
Oh, he's had it since birth. Really? Then how was he able to go to daycare and eat 3 meals a day, digest that fine, have no stomach issues until you became his full-time parent? How come he had no issues until you became his parent? Yes, I'm repeating it for you, Katie. 2 times for Paulson.
He's a good kid, though. Good.
Who fucking cares? What's that got to do with the fucking price of eggs? Fuck! He's a good kid, though. My son, not our son, my son, you know. You don't know anything about your son. Oh, he likes dinosaurs?
Good kid. Thank you for the hurt. I did ask Gypsy about this. She was shocked. I actually showed her a video of our cabinet, of his well, I'll just show you. I'll just come show. I'll show you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, guys. Okay, we are moving, guys. We are moving. Buckle up. We what was that movie where they cyberspace? No, inner space, where he gets injected into. Katie, do we have to go downstairs?
Okay. How do I turn my computer? How do I turn the camera?
And like her son is, look at the thing in the background is still up, like the baby thing on the wall. Or is that a painting? Is that Toad's painting of how many fruit? Are there any mangoes?
How do I turn
Katie's head is the shape of a mango. Katie, it is though. Why are you raising your eyebrow?
Around. Okay. Well. So this is like what she should have had if she was a feeding tube. So you have like your extensions and all of your different syringes and your different equipment, that kind of stuff. And I didn't. That's a cute blanket. Oh, this one. This one is actually knitted by someone for my son when he had heart surgery.
You'd think he'd know who made the rug, not just someone. I hope they're not watching.
Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, that's her son's room.
But I noticed she didn't have anything like that in her house, and I was like, that was weird.
Are we in her bedroom? Oh no, we're in her office. Getting confused. They're all green bile.
Doesn't she have syringes? Why doesn't she have? And she had asthma too, right? So why didn't she have nebulizers? And why weren't there extensions for her nebulizers?
You know, the best thing that like my parents ever did was get me swimming. Like I swam before I walked. Also, like because I didn't have any muscle tone from the waist down, I didn't have like strength to go from the crawling position into walking. I think I walked at 2.5. I joke about that now, you know, why walk when the PREM is there? I still don't like walking. Like I'll catch a taxi to the end of the block. But yeah. And then what was I saying? Fuck, my brain farts tonight are just fucking something chronic. Yeah, so I started, like, I swam before I walked, and my mum says, like, I was able to build up muscles to walk, and then also the swimming helped with my asthma because I had like chronic asthma and I used to get pneumonia like a lot when I was a child, and had all those nebulizer things. But yeah, swimming really helped like strengthen my lungs, and then also like helped me breathe properly. And yeah, thank God for swimming. And it was like being back in the womb because I got fully ripped off, man. 8 weeks prem, like fuck off. Everyone else is out here living and they got 9 months in the womb, and I only got, what, 32 weeks? Fuck. But then my biggest issue was because I was born before the time they knew of the importance of skin-to-skin contact. So I went, like, without skin-to-skin contact for, the first, like, 6 weeks of my life, and then my mum was able to hold me, but with gloves, and that, like, has stemmed into, like, I've done therapy and linked all that back to why I have attachment issues. Yeah, I'm better off being complete solitude away from people. But yeah, I just have like huge attachment to my mum though as well, like unhealthy way. But yeah, my mum never, like, I mean, she had PTSD and everything from my birth. She went into a coma. She had not, oh, what is it? Something previa. Like my brain is just like spitting out words like Katie does now to try and make sense. But what is it called? Not preeclampsia, previa. Maybe it's that. But yeah, with the why is my brain like I've got absolutely nothing in my brain, like no thought. This must be what it's like for you, Katie. Is it just tick, 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 nothing going on? Where the placenta comes before, you know? And I was really just bringing my purse with me, but yeah, my best friend made pills out of her placenta and ate them. Yeah. Did anyone else eat theirs? Raw style, like American Horror Story, straight on that grill? Oh my gosh. We're so at
Yes,
the
you
end.
can go to school with a feeding tube. Yep. Yeah, and you know what's funny is Christy was like, in every aspect of the house, it was totally disorganized. But when I went into the med closet, it was perfectly organized. I'm like, what? Like 3 shelves were. Did you look at the top shelf and the bottom and the floor? It was like a complete disaster. I don't know what EES means. You keep asking that question, but I don't know what EES means. Yeah, and did you notice that like they had so much stuff in there, like almost like they weren't even using any of those meds? Exactly. She was stockpiling, exactly. Hoarding medical supplies, exactly. Yep.
Oh my God, SD. I love stories. I love hearing stories about prem babies that have just overcome so much, especially being born at 24 weeks. Oh my goodness. And then he's turning 12 next week and he's healthy and active. Oh my God, I love that. And to see just, oh, and like whenever I tell anyone that I'm prem, they're like, what? Because I'm like 6 foot. My mum is so tiny. I'm like, yeah, I came out of my mum too early. I'm angry. I'm so pissed off. Like, V got more 5 weeks. And Katie has never exaggerated beyond that, has she? That he was born. Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine, SD, how small. Because, you know, whenever you see like those videos of the dad with their wedding ring and they put it on the baby's arm and it's just a huge bangle. Even that, to be a NICU nurse, I mean, those people are the heroes. Imagine dealing with Katie.
Oh, erythromycin, no. We tried that when he was really little and it didn't do anything. It sometimes works, but no, he doesn't take that. He just gets vented a lot. No, he's never been on TPN. TPN is last resort, by the way. TPN.
He just gets vented a lot. He shouldn't be getting vented a lot. Like, just because you enjoy it, you enjoy the panic, the drama, like you enjoy the rush, the emergency of it all. Because his lips are blue, you got to get into mummy role quick and then write about it.
TPN is only when patients can't tolerate anything in their stomachs.
Oh, Mountain Dew.
Do you have a plan to fix? He has a mini button. All right, so I'm gonna go. I need to eat dinner.
Done?
It's 7 o'clock here. I want to go live on my YouTube channel still. This has been super fun. You guys have been so cute.
Okay, bye now.
I have 349 new followers. Oh my God, and 54 gifts. You guys are so cute. Thank you. Thank you for following. If you haven't followed, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for all the gifts, friends. I've never been a huge TikToker before, so.
You've never been
Thank you for being here.
I mean, you're not even at 400K yet. Everyone has overtaken you. Everyone. And you can't even buy subs to keep up with them. Katie, you there? No, she's gone. She's gone. And there's no point asking her to speak up because she's gone. Oh, guys. Oh, I was going to like watch the second half of that with, I'll do it on the next one with members. Like we'll watch half with you guys and then half with my members. I think I used to do that because I got to really start getting back on, on a roll because there's so many things that have gone on to keep me from going on YouTube. And yeah, have you guys noticed how everyone is commenting on Katie's, like, when are you going to move on? Do you have a hate boner for Gypsy? What is this? I mean, you said you were over her and you're still talking about her and now you're an expert. They want an explanation, Katie. What is your obsession with Gypsy? I think it's because you want to get in on everyone talking about her on TikTok. And you're like, how come I can't get those numbers? I can only get 2K to watch my videos. Katie, because it's you. It might be you. Oh, I don't know how to sum this up. My brain is left. Well, she's sort of new to TikTok. Like it's never been her main platform. I think she signed up in 2020 on my CB shorts. I'll link them below, her original TikTok videos. They are cringe. And and then she deleted all her pro Gypsy videos before she put this new role that she's known all along that Gypsy's a liar. Yep. Now I'm worried about Fancy. Like, poor Fancy. She's calling Katie babe, and she's, happy that they're now working on the same side. But don't be fooled, Fancy. Katie is evil. And I feel bad for Fancy because, Fancy's been right all along. And Katie was used to smear Fancy. And now they're friends. And Fancy, I just want to stop you. I feel like I should slide into your DMs and give you the real fucking tea, the Cactus tea. No milk. I don't even know. I'm just talking shit. But I think I might reach out to Fancy and just say, don't go there. Don't go there, sister. Like, let me show you a little slideshow, a little picture thing. What is happening? But does she? E says, nah, Fancy knows what she's about. I don't know. I feel like Fancy might be, she called her babe. And I feel like Fancy might just be happy that Katie's on her side. I just don't want Fancy to be used, She's too fancy for that. I want to change my name to Fancy. Oh, yeah. I agree. Michelle says, I don't think she's going to last. She's going to last on TikTok because it's a different demographic. Totally, it is. And it's not like it's people that see straight through Katie and see that she's desperate. Like people in her chat, like, who's this chick? Oh my God, her face is crooked. Like, oh my God. When I saw that and someone was like, why is her chin crooked? I'm like, you can't hide it. Filters, because it stands out more with filters because the filter is made for the straight face and then you just see a little bit of chin on the side. And I'm not being mean, She could have taken this time not being on screen to go and get that fixed. But she can't because then how is she going to give up her booze and her pills for the healing time? I mean, she can't even deal with her staph worm-infected face. And that means the dogs have worms too. And it's just continually being spread every time Frida licks her. She's got like anal worms under her skin. It's called, I thought she had hookworm at first, but then my research has said that it's now roundworm, larva or larvae, migrants under her skin. And it's caused by her dog licking its ass. And then licking her face and there being no hygiene. Like the sheets aren't being cleaned. Katie's not cleaning her face. She's not looking after the dogs. Like at one point, Frida had mucus worms and I put it on Twitter and I don't know. And I've done a few videos on Katie's face. I'll link them below. None of them include worms, but I can go there. I just don't know if you want me to and I don't know if I want to, because then it's permanently out there. But you can legit see the worms in her eyes in certain lives that she's done, and they stick out of her eyebrow and they're white and you can see them. And I'm just like, how can you neglect that? But then it is all to do with addiction. Oh, it can be both, Susie. What are you answering? Because I've forgotten what I was saying. This is what's happened. My brain is goldfish brain tonight. But I think it's really what Katie put me through this morning. Oh. Well, I think dogs licking faces is fine as long as you have a clean dog. But her dog is not clean. But yeah, apparently it's not clean to have. It's not, dogs aren't meant to lick your face. And it's not kisses, apparently. And I'm like, why isn't it kisses? I love my parents' pug giving me pug kisses. I mean, Susie, how good are pug kisses? Would you ever turn them down? I can't even imagine getting ass worms from. Oh, dogs have tapeworm. They have so many. Like, it's just the level of cleanliness doesn't exist in their house. Have they had nurses? They're the cleaners. Katie doesn't clean unless it's, it's a fresh prescription day, because then she can just go to town, Oh, yeah. Well, it's worse because my parents' pug at the moment needs to get her glands done. So, yeah, it's a bit fishy in the breath. But, yeah, I totally understand, Mummy, what you're saying. I learned the hard way. People tell me not to do stuff and then I do it and then I get in like dog infected face. I haven't actually. I've never been through anything that Katie's been through. Have you? Anyone ever had that on your face? Oh, I can't even put filters on because I don't want to look like a 12-year-old. I love my wrinkles. They're the storylines of my life. Like, they're the laughs that I've shared with people. They're the moments that, you know, I don't want to look like a 12-year-old face on a 42-year-old woman's body, because that is a bit Kardashian crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Well, he can eat, Ginger. Ginger says, "Can V teach himself to eat table food when he's an adult?" Like, he can eat, like, he eats M&Ms and Cheetos and choking food, undigestible food. But, like, there's also a video of him eating at a family dinner. Katie's mum's feeding him, but it's getting stuck, like, on the side of his cheek. Just don't think Katie was a hands-on mum. I don't think she taught him anything. Like I said, like, she would put it on the tray of his high chair and then sit back and, like, film, or, like, and he'd just stare at her like, "What am I meant to do?" And why share all those pictures of her son eating, well, choking food, but eating, and then she says he can't. And then in her article, she's like, "We tried everything, pureed food, smoothies," and she never did. Never once was he fed anything soft, like soft food. Like, he's not even given, like, banana or anything, or avocado, which is the easiest fucking baby food ever. And then they become addicted. Yeah, I don't, well, all his muscles are now dormant, so everything that he's learnt prior to having the feeding tube, or, like, the swallowing and the chewing and all that, like, is now a dormant muscle. It's not used for anything other than, like, snacks, but he should have, like, he's been on the tube now for almost 8 years. Almost 8 years. And most parents are, if they're at this stage, would be trying to get their child off the feeding tube, but Katie's just gone, "Nup, this is permanent. This is how he lives now." Give your son a life. She wants him to be dependent on her. As long as he's a dependent in under her roof with a permanent disability, she gets benefits, the property tax exemption. She also becomes a special needs mum and gets to play that role. My son has a feeding tube, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's absolutely disgusting. She's so disgusting. I don't feel like I did this justice, but yeah, tomorrow, if I've got a voice, we should tackle the TikTok that she did yesterday, because it's 2 hours long and at our pace, well, my pace, I know. I'm a snail, guys. I'm a snail. That is my spirit animal. Everyone has grand spirit animals: foxes, lions, tigers, garden snail. When you know, you know. And that's what self-awareness is all about. What do you think Katie's spirit animal would be? And it's not even a sloth, because that is Amber Portwood. And, you know, Katie, I feel, would be a scorpion. But that's too cool for her. Does Katie say anti? She says anti. Is that American? Do Americans say anti instead of anti? You know? Like, I'm trying to think of a word. Like, yeah, so like anti-KJ or anti. I go anti because, hey, I am Honey, I Shrunk the Kids all the way. I love anti. But yeah, Katie does. Okay, guys, I'm going to oh, are you using scientific words? I stanza. Oh, took me a while to read your name. Oops. See you guys. Thanks so much for being here. As usual, I could never watch it without you. Give this video a like, share it, comment below if I missed your comment in the chat. Tag me in the comments and yeah, we can talk there. Replay crew, I'll catch you in the comments. And yeah, guys, we did it. I'm just happy we survived. We survived and we got through it. Okay, tomorrow we'll take on another one. I don't know if I can. Are you guys like, I can't. It's very weird that, like, I used to be able to tune out from the shit that I'm going through in my life and just focus on Katie, but now I can't even focus on Katie because she's a head fuck. She's totally like, I never wanted to reach this stage. But let's get on to something interesting. I just want her to get onto something interesting. She's got all these new friends now. Wait till they find out. Oh, E, love the green. Follow E. Put some cactus in the chat. Guys, it's been good hanging out. Oh my God, I've missed it so much. No more getting sick. Let's just get on with it, you know? There's a lot to... Oh, guys. Cactus high five. It's been way too long. Like, I feel like I've been gone for years. I'm a different person. The wind has changed. No, I'm not. Keep your leaf to yourself, Katie. Or make sure you check out the links. They'll be in the pinned comment after the live. And, you know, anyway, take care, guys. Have a good day. Don't be pathetic like Katie, you know? Never be pathetic like Katie. We are better than that.